Awesome, as towards the western side of the map, playing in his trademark yellow, we do have the Viper playing as the Slavs. What are we expecting from our other player here? I am here with Nilly at the moment, one of the best casters and most experienced players you'll find on the casting team. Introduce away, mate.
Okay, mate. So it is Mr. Yo playing Magyars. So we saw Magyars against Slavs earlier. That game went for the big advantage for the Magyars in the feudal or early feudal age. And then the eco bonus of the Slavs kicked in. Most important thing is, again, how are the woodlines looking here? We have at the back no real woodline for Mr. Yo. And also Viper needs to move out. And we see already moving out there with one villager. I'm expecting scouts from both players.
Absolutely. On a map like this where it's so open and you can get to your opponent so quickly, that's kind of what we're expecting. Viper actually moving down from his plateau straight away. Looks like he's wasting no time getting his lumber camp up on a more efficient, I guess, wood source there overall. Doesn't want to be rebuilding that. Mr. Yo going for a little bit of a different option here. Did manage to find a section of trees, though, where he will actually get two together, so may not even pay off for him.
And I want to mention something. Obviously, we had a somewhat big 1v1 tournament 2 weeks ago, near this apartment cup, and the Viper lost a lot of games there on Acropolis. Most of the times getting pressured there at his woodline. So if Yo, and he told me he watched those rags, did take good care, he might go for some aggression, and let's see if Viper reacts better this time. Test. Oh no, we lost BBQTurkman. Fields Nilly, man. Restarting Discord. Okay, he is restarting Discord. So the map is called Acropolis. As we all know, you cannot build on that rocky area. Slavs with the better eco and Magyars with the attack upgrade there at the start. And for the berries here, where are the extra boars? I believe too far away this time. And password again. Oh, I think it was something like that. For the game room. Alligator 123. I'm just rewatching Scrubs at the moment. It's so funny. Okay. Both going for the boar lure here at the same time. And Mr. Turkman is back in the house. Do you have the password? Are you in the game? Oh no, seems like you're not. Or at least you're muted to me at the moment here in Discord. Some nice deer push by the Viper. Trying to stay very efficient there. That he needs to farm less. Although obviously he doesn't mind farming too much. Oh, finding those two sheep. How did the Viper miss those two? That's like super unfortunate for him. Oh, don't tell me. How did he miss those two? Ay, 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 ay. Well, they're running away now. Viper with 3 on wood, indicating scouts will be on the menu. We have 3 on wood over here. And Turkman, you're still muted. You should do the I told you so dance after the correct predictions. I told you so, I told you so. Oh god, I'm so in love with JD and Turk. Who will be casting the final? It will be yours truly and BBQTurkman. We will jump over to Escape AoE though for that. So stay over here if you enjoy our casting, and if you still do, you're more than welcome to switch over. And Turkman, it's still muted, my friend. But we're in the Dark Age. We only jumped into the 10-minute mark, I believe, in the other series, so it's all good. Did Yo scout the woodland? That's a pretty good question and pretty important. I'd say yes, he did, and no, he did not. That's actually a mistake by Yo. Not scouting for the woodland. He was looking for that. Now, scouting for his own woodline first.
That took some time to connect. Not exactly sure why.
Hello, all good. Like, we don't want to give everything to the viewers, right? Just let them wait for 9 minutes. It's the first game. It is Dark Age. It is a very slow Age of Empires game. And, oh, the Viper going for boar number 3 and 4. As we know, Acropolis, you have 2 extra boars. but sometimes a bit far away. You need to loom for sure to get them. Sweet stuff for the Viper.
If we know anything about the Viper, a city he likes to play for that eco, he has that advantage overall. He doesn't really lose out in terms of that, but some hits here coming from the scout potentially could lose the villager, and it's done.
Oh yeah, and that's, well, let's see how the Viper plays this. Now goes for the stable, already has the bags, goes for the eco upgrades. Well, he can wait quite a bit before he really needs to start farming. Beautiful eco for him. On the other side, scouts for Mr. Yo. I want to see him add some spearmen as well and pressure this front area. And forging will really kick in there.
Absolutely. So looking at the map overall, who do you think has the bigger advantage when it's coming down to the actual push right now? I understand Viper's come down off his plateau to get onto the wood line there. Yo's sitting in the back, but it looks like it's going to be a very, very hard section to actually wall off any of this.
And well, it is simply impossible on that stone to wall. The Acropolis does not want to be limited. Oh, losing the scout now. Spearman against Spearman fight will just be so much better for Yo. I think him going for full aggression could be nice. And sneaky villager as well.
Here we go. Could potentially see that tower come up on the wood line there, deny that and push Viper back up the hill, or at least to that wood patch down towards the south. If he does get pushed to that one towards the south, it will start to actually hurt him overall because he's starting to get locked into place, which is kind of what we've seen in a lot of the other games in this series overall. When players start to kind of get pushed back and they have nowhere to retreat to, that aggression just becomes so much more of an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to have the aggression and push the other guy. We just remember the Mongols game there of the last series. And I don't like how few spearmen I see on the map here from Yo. He's producing more now. But just think about it. If he went for 3, 4, 5 spearmen and pressured that defense of the Viper, he could have done major damage as well.
Absolutely. Viper's already got about 4 spears out. He hasn't really stopped the production of them until recently. He wanted that defense, but Viper, I would say, is playing very, very defensively here. Starting to get a little bit more of a wall off the front with those houses. A Viper known for a very open playstyle generally. When it comes to tournaments, though, the man does not risk it. He's here to get the biscuit, that's for sure.
Oh, that was a beautiful rhyme. And well, one spearman won't be enough to defend those 5 scouts off. Maybe we see the craziest quick walls. No, we don't. And Viper, he will get a lot of kills in. Mr. Yo completely out of position, but he's trying to return the favor at the gold stand ground over there. A lot of stuff going on at the same time.
Yo doing a great job getting the pressure in here early. The scouts are in the back. They're on the wood line. They're getting the kills. He's dealt with 2 spears there already. Got a villager kill. Looks like he's going to get another one on the berries there. Potentially another on the way back to the TC. Whoa, this is brutal. Obviously, the forging really kicking in here and going to move away before he loses any units. Looks like we did have a villager kill over on the lumber towards the western side there of Viper's base with that tower. This is Yo's being really aggressive here and forcing Viper actually out into the middle of the map for wood.
Oh, that's not great. The lucky thing, Mr. Yo is not on stone yet, but double archer range for him. Wants to go on to more of those archers. The Viper still continuing to get some kills done at the moment. KD a bit better for him, but both players not finished with the raiding yet.
Oh, absolutely. We can see Viper in the back there trying to get some damage done with these scouts. Did lose that villager towards the, I guess, again, eastern side, I would probably say, or western side of his base, sorry. From there, the scout's going to move out, not really going to take any damage, and Viper just being as efficient as always. Trying to get the damage where he can, moving out, poking and prodding. We can see the double archery range transition already for Yo, so that's starting to come into effect. Have we seen Viper throw up his ranges yet? No.
And he was on gold quite early, and not having a single archery range is kind of surprising to me. The question is, archers, they need a lot of spearmen for protection. Do you think that maybe the archer switch was a bit early here against that mass amount of scouts?
With the amount of scouts we've got out in the field from Viper, I think it's absolutely a possibility there. He's got Bloodlines dropping in now. No doubt we're going to see the armor upgrade quite soon. As soon as they get that Bloodlines and the armor upgrade, they can go toe-to-toe with the archers very quickly. And without that spear front, like you were saying, to act as bulk, get the extra damage in there, and just make it harder to engage, if he gets a full surround with the scouts on some archers, you know that's game over.
Uh-oh, and getting one spearman without a single hit. The other one bugging out as well will get one hit off, and that is just so ugly. The Viper getting such a nice raid in at the back wood line.
This is the dream raid here. He's moving the scouts in as well, using the actual movement of the scouts to block some villages. And that's 3 gone just there. 2 scouts for free. Sorry, 2 spears for free. Didn't even lose a single scout. And another villager there. This is Viper showing why he's so dangerous, and I think it's the thing that really catches a lot of people off guard. It's one of those things where 3 units in the base, it doesn't seem like too big a risk. Under some strict control like this, they are just dangerous. And on the goal, didn't get the wall off in time.
But the Viper needs to flee there against 2 spearmen, doesn't really want to take the engagement. Where are the archers? They are at the wood line of the Viper though, and that's what we said earlier. That's super exposed at the moment. 4 more villagers for the Viper, but that will change pretty quickly.
There's 1 down, 2 down, potentially seeing a 3rd down here as well. And there we go. Last arrow hitting him in the ankle and ending it. The spear's going down for free there as well. Viper, what do you think his best option is? Is he going to retreat with his scouts, try and get the full surround on these archers, because there's no spear there to defend them? Or is he going to keep poking? What do you think?
He will just clear up the archers and then again go for the raid. And that was the problem. That's what we said earlier. The spearman amount of Yo simply not on point. He needed I would say 3 spearmen more at the front now, 2 spearmen more at the back. I felt he underproduced them all game long.
Absolutely. Viper on his way up to Castle Age as well. Scale barding on the way. He's getting close to having those full up scouts, which, as we know, against archers, they just wreak havoc. As soon as he gets to Castle Age as well, the amount of options he's going to have, especially as Slavs, like you were saying early on, this is kind of a map where it will favor the Magyars early on. Soon as we kind of get up to Castle Age Plus, the Slavs are going to have a big bonus, especially if he does decide to go down that siege front.
What a beautiful micro there, pulling back the low HP scouts, full HP scouts. And that's something beautiful as well. He only garrisoned the low HP villager in the TC, the rest were working, because he knew he would clear up all those archers anyways. Now adding stable number 2, the Viper in full control.
That's it. He's got map control. He's got eco control at the moment. Villager count is starting to get a little bit behind, but that was to be expected due to Viper going up to Castle Age. Give it a minute and he'll be there. Up to him. What are we looking at overall? Doesn't look like he wants to drop any extra TCs by the wood count there. Looks like he wants to get nice and aggressive. He might be pushing to end this.
Let's see. Mr. Yo is trying to prevent that, but spearman count now up to 4, archer count at 7-ish. I believe that fight could have been delayed till he has light caps, but maybe he just wants to go on tonight. Is microing beautifully, is getting damage done against the archers. Yo won't really get into his aggression.
I agree. The way he played that there, avoided the spears overall, got the archers. They were in a good position, but there just wasn't enough of them. With the scouts, with the HP they had forging, they had the armor, they had bloodlines. That was a great engagement overall.
Oh man, and well, Yo, as we said, it was kind of even, both going spearmen, both going scouts, both the damage in the back, but then the switch on to archers, probably a bit too early. Yeah, he felt, okay, I needed to do that to kill the woodline at the front, but the Viper got the damage done regardless, simply because Yo didn't go for any protected wood, and it's so tough to wall the wood at the top.
I think you've nailed that there overall in terms of just the cleanup there. As far as goes, if he had a couple more spears and things out on the map, the earlier archer transition could have been fantastic. He could have got the damage, used obviously the spears to get the bulk of the damage done and just sit there. But with that, he just didn't have the units there to really hold out against it, and that was his problem. Overall, could have been fine on that front if he had the bulk there, but like we saw in that last engagement, without those spears in numbers, with bloodlines, with the armor upgrades, the scouts could just run on top, and archers have such low HP that they just get cut through like butter.
Oh yeah, +1/+1, as you said several times, such a big difference. And the Viper, that was a pretty clean game for him, obviously getting that boar number 3 and 4, and well, close to 50% more food income in this game, and that was a pretty short game as well. That's just sick.
Oh, absolutely. The damage was done at the start by both players, but as the villagers kind of got chipped away overall, you would see kind of how Viper does pull ahead there. He's just efficient with his eco, like you were saying. He micros the scouts towards the back with lower HP. The villagers on farms, he only garrisons the ones with low HP. These are the little differences that kind of helped him pull ahead there. Even it didn't seem like there was a big difference, but I would say the big wood raid that Viper had there over towards the west against Yo, that was where it really changed it. That really changed the game.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I believe really, and it is tricky to play against scouts, right? He's so mobile. The general approach against scout is just wall yourself and then have one clumped army that counters the scouts. But on Acropolis, that is tricky.
Yeah, it's not a map designed to be walled, and that's the whole reason scouts are so strong on it. They move so quickly, and that's the big thing that kind of helps them. It means you can hit the left side, you can hit the right, you can move around to the other flank, you can get in behind the eco, you can push that as much as possible, and in doing so, makes it really, really easy to kind of distract your opponent and hurt them just in all those little sections.
And we're launching into game number 2. It will be played on Cross now.
Excellent.
A map that we saw people pick hands on in the other semi-final. Let's see what they are going for now while we are jumping into game number 2.
Excellent. Towards the south side of the map, in his trademark yellow, we have the Viper playing as the Huns, as we have seen, as Nearly said, in earlier games beforehand. The map is Cross. We have just come out of a Viper victory as well. Could be potentially helping him out there with the psychological, as he was quite dominant in the game. I'll throw it over to Nearly to introduce our other player.
We have Mr. Yo in the north. He's playing the Vikings, which is quite an interesting choice, we have to say. Obviously, the water map pool not that big here, but Vikings, well, bonuses, well, cheaper dogs, and, well, better eco, but I favor the Huns here.
Yeah, you're sounding super concerned about that Viking pick overall. Obviously, Vikings, really, really good eco overall. The cheaper dock going to help out. How do you feel about them not having access to fire ships, though, for that quick kind of raiding they can get into on the ponds? Do you think that's going to slow down his damage to actually get rid of the fishing ships?
That's an interesting thing, and that's someone asking in the other game before as well. Why did they build galleys instead of fire galleys? Well, if you control the pond, it's not that important to not have fire galleys, because you can just simply block him not going on your pond, right? But indeed, a sneaky dog will be pretty much impossible for Mr. Yo. The Viper can defend that so much better. Nice catch from you.
Absolutely, and the thing is as well, like you were saying, if you do have those ponds, once you start getting some galleys, even like some cannon galleons, depending on your civ overall there, you've got options to actually attack out from there, and as we know, ships, bulk HP, they can really soak up things. Would you rather have a galley or an archer kind of thing? But end of the day, the ponds looking at the map right now, they're not really kind of next to any main resource, so honestly, a couple of fire ships just to defend off any kind of push that's coming in, keep your fishing ships alive, seems perfect.
Yeah, and I love the idea of thinking about cannon galleon on those ponds, but it is kind of tough, right? Those ponds are at the edge of the map, so if I ever see cannon galleons deciding a game on Cross, it's probably the best game I've ever seen.
Oh, mate, we can dream, can't we? Viper going down with Loom already. 12 villagers apiece, so both players really on point. It looks like, is that Yo stealing a couple of Viper's sheep there as well?
Yeah, again, yes, indeed. 2 sheep stolen there, and the Viper kind of trying to scout that area with his own scout, but misses them barely.
Ooh, a little bit of a bugger there, but end of the day, the players are here to win. If you're going to see laming, it's in tournament games. Of course, laming does come with its own sense of risk as well, but that we did actually see in the last series. We saw Leary lose his scout nice and early on as well. Losing that scout, if you're laming and, lose your scout to a boar, get too close to the TC trying to steal some sheep, it makes a huge difference overall, and you can just basically, as we saw from Leary, wall yourself into a hole.
Well, we will see on that. Vikings, well, you can't really see them going on to too many scouts, right? It has to be like M&A aggression, which isn't too beautiful if you have the dog start. So are we expecting, losing a villager there? We're kind of expecting archers, right?
Not what we want to see in terms of villager loss there. Like we were saying in the last game, Viper plays so efficiently that any loss like that early on will put him further ahead. Of course, at the same time, Yo is a phenomenal player. In fact, he's been in the top 3 quite regularly as well. So seeing a little mistake from him there, not what we want to see, but I wouldn't say it puts him out of the game at all. But like you're saying from Vikings, some kind of, I want to say man-at-arms would be a really good idea overall in terms of getting some aggression, but like you were saying, with those fishing ships, you can't kind of push them off barriers as much. You can't get as much damage to them overall, which is the big thing. So I think that early archer transition, like you're thinking, could be a good idea. Wall's already getting put down for Yo as well. Looks like he's getting a little bit of damage done nice and early there, the Viper, forcing those walls up nice and early. And of course, end of the day, that's wood committed, it's idle time.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is walling so much. But look at the Viper. Will he get the sneaky villager through? He checked those timings, and we had a talk show on Wednesday, I believe, with Fire, where he said, like, it's so important if you play those maps to know the timings. How long does a villager need to walk there? And it seems like the Viper did know, but this villager... Oh god, he's forcing the engagement there. He will kill the villager and will get the dog up. Beautiful play by the Viper.
This is a good play. He managed to get the scout there just in time. Villager will be forced to retreat, and it looks like we are seeing Yo pull some extra villagers across, pull the scout across. The palisade gate is up, so that's going to defend that one. This is a good play from the Viper. This worked out about as good as it could have gone.
Oh, and Yo is clicking up now as well. Yeah, and that was just so lucky. Just running through there, having his scout around was so beautiful for him as well. And Yo, well, he didn't really wall the front yet. The Viper with 4 on gold. That looks like double archer to me. But first, small engagement on the water. It just feels like the thing that we mentioned before, that you cannot really contest on the water with Vikings, is really biting Yo in his ass.
Absolutely, because the thing is, he's going to have got that dog down. He's going to be up a little bit earlier, which will kind of allow for basically one fire ship to be out. As soon as that fire ship's out, and really, you can't do anything against it until you have mass galleys. You're not going to mass galleys before he gets 2 or 3 fire ships out, kills off your fishing eco, and then denies any ability to do that. Looking at the map as well, we've seen no aggression towards the ponds for Yo, because he's being kind of caught. And man, it looks like Viper's actually going forward with a couple of villages here as well. But so's Yo. He's going to catch him in the middle.
Okay, stable from the Viper, although he sent 4 on gold. That was simply to get enough gold out to add another fire galley. So wants to go on to 2 there. Even sneaking around with the villager there, the stable. He needs to get some quick walls done. Let's take a look about that. Uh-oh. The stable could be denied here.
There we go. The deny of the stable, of course, going to hurt. We do see the archery range.
Oh no, it's the Viper effect. Oh, yeah.
This is rough. We've got the tower coming up in the back of the wood line for Yo there. We're going to have fire ships on the water in probably about 20 seconds. And there it goes. It pops now. We've seen the fast wall get the stable out. Scouts on the way. This is a strong play. A very, very strong play. Defensive tower coming up from Yo. Hopefully should just be in time considering he's got 3 villages on it. But forcing that one. Viper, man, this has been great play.
But honestly, I believe Yo is doing all the right steps, right? He is a wall at home, so scouts can't hit him. Well, he's losing a villager there, but he will block that tower from going up. And, well, skirmishes, spearman aggression will get pretty tricky for the Viper.
Whoa, that tower as well killed off at the last second. Going to give Viper pretty minimal stone. Is killing off the fishing ships. That's the eco, obviously going to be in favor of the Viper. But I agree, Yo's taking all the right steps here. He may be on the defensive side just because Viper's been so quick to kind of move forward. But all his counters have been perfect. He's denied the tower, got rid of that. He's gone forward with his range. He's got enough spears. He's learned from last game. Got enough spears there, and it looks like those scouts on stand ground as well. So going to get 1 for free there. Adding in the archers, stone towards the front. This is good. This is good.
Oh, we'll see. The Viper is building a defensive tower. Let's take a look if Yo sees the other stone. Yes, he does. So he should know that the Viper is on stone now. He knew that he denied the other tower at roughly 90% HP. Or 90%, yeah, in general. So some aggression over there would be nice.
Absolutely. We can see Yo coming forward onto the main gold of Viper there. Viper, he should have spotted that one in the pack, yep. So he does have the option there to retreat to if he does want to. Looks like he's not too worried about it, but potentially could lose, or, well, not really going to lose. There's 2 little archers there. In fact, it's only a single archer. But here comes the trap.
Oh,
Gate. He's got it.
Oh, is that beautiful. Oh, God. And 2 skirmishers. He just needs to focus on killing the archer, and then he is safe. 4 villagers trying to free their friends, but the engagement there, and that's just... Oh, God, he's so sick.
That's beautiful. It looks like he's going to be able to do some damage to the villagers there. Trying to keep that palisade up, but of course the unit's going to kill it off quite quickly. Basically keeping 4 villagers idle there. Going to obviously deny the gate eventually, but that's just some idle time for Viper that he's kind of winning with here. He's got 6 fishing ships out. That's really helping his food count. He's got 32 villages compared to the 31 of Yo. At this point, every second he's gaining ahead in terms of eco. Yo needs to, like we say, make something happen. He needs to push out. He needs to deny some resources. Get a villager or 2. We've got fletching on the way for Viper already. He's got that archery out, skirmishes, which are a really good choice because, of course, they do get the bonus versus archers and spearmen. The only thing there that he's really worried about is that scout, and if he wants to, he can get some more spears out to actually deal with that quite efficiently.
Yeah, Viper in a good spot. And let's take a look at the pawns. South pawn, full control of the Viper, obviously 5 fishing ship. Top one, that's supposed to be Yo's, 3 fishing ship to none for the Viper. Right hand side, 2 fishing ship. Left hand side, no fishing ship yet, but a villager pretty close. That will be 4 pawns to none pretty soon.
This is interesting. Do you think we're going to see a huge fish boom from Viper?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we already at 12 fishing ship, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him, like, going up to, I'd say, 30?
Man, that's a padded archer armor on the way as well. Obviously a food cost there. Having all those fishing ships has allowed him to do that nice and early. It's something we kind of won't see from Yo for a little bit, just because he's going to be busy keeping his skirmisher, his archer spear production up. So that's where he's going to win out there overall. And yeah, looking at it, he's sending a villager towards the, man, he's sending it towards the western pond as well. You're right.
Oh man, and I'm a bit surprised how little the Viper is on gold. Now sending some villagers to the right hand side. Yeah, a lot of gold blocked there at the front, but I still feel early transition could have been nice. The Viper still, I don't really see Yo breaking him.
That's it. The aggression at the start was good, but Viper managed to defend so well. Yo came forward, tried to do the damage, and he couldn't get there. That's the thing, and he's kind of committed to that as well. What do you think Yo's best kind of plan is from here to get back into it? If you see Yo coming back into it, what's he need to do?
I don't want to be that guy, but I think it's already over.
Whoa, the call is there from Nilly. Oh, here we go. Aggressive market, exactly what we needed. This is where it's at. The classic trading cart rush. But look, the way it's kind of playing out at the moment, we're seeing so many fishing ships out for Viper. We've got 17 on play right now. He's going to be Castle Age very, very soon. All he needs to do is get that gold up. Is he going for... He's got gold in the back there. Yo buying some food. Is he looking at upping as well? So both players going to be upping around the same time. Overall, though, Viper's economy, he's going to be in an amazing place. Up to Castle Age, of course, he's going to have that huge advantage when it comes to the actual fish boom he's going to have. So, obviously, scout rating, things like that, an option very, very quickly. Look, as the Huns, he's just got every option under the sun here. Obviously, the main things they're lacking is going to be the Mangonel line in terms of the actual upgrades. But in Castle Age, his options are plentiful, and he's going to be able to abuse that as much as he can.
Okay, he is up to Castle Age 34 seconds later. Is there maybe an option that Yo switches on to, like... 3 stables, goes full knights, +2, and tries to somehow get a castle up at the front? Because he's heavily on stone as well. I think he has to kind of play it all in here. The time is ticking so heavily in favor of the Viper.
Every second that counts now. We've got Viper with 19 fishing ships on equal villager counts, but those fishing ships are just going to make life so easy in terms of the food count overall. Viper going to be in a great position, I agree. If we see Yo do some kind of all-in, that'd be his way back into the game. There's an 800-point score difference at 22 minutes in the game. Not a lot of units have been lost, and the eco at the moment, it's just huge. How do you deal with that? The answer may be a 3-stable all-in backed by a castle.
Well, he is not going for that, as it seems. He is going for archers. He didn't have a blacksmith either, so now Viper even fighting with his skirmishers there, trying to focus down all the archers that you saw, and now building some scouts to deal with the skirmishers. Oh god, such a beautiful transition, and he will just prevent that potential push. The only way he could really die is already prevented before it really started.
The man, he was just smart. He's played this very well. Yo playing a little bit more defensively there, so losing some time to the wall off. Bodkin arrow, crossbow on the way, and man, another tower getting forced up there. The scout's doing a little bit of damage. Does have the bloodlines on there. Has the +2 armor. There's Castle Age for the Viper. 1,000 points up. There's the GG. I think we were expecting that one.
4-point action, and the Viper reached Castle Age with, I believe it was like 1.2k food, 700 gold or something? That's just ridiculous.
Man, it was just such a strong play overall. It just shows that you can't sacrifice those ponds on cross. You lose too much food income, especially, it was up to 20 fishing ships. That's absolutely insane overall. What he's kind of managed to achieve here, like chain barding on the way, he was ready to go for that. Did we have night production in the stable? In both stables even, so he was ready to come in, get the rating, could get through those palisade gates very, very quickly. All he needed was just something there overall in terms of a siege workshop at the front. It was just beautifully played.
Oh man, and I still like, the first time, or like the first sentence I said is like, and in the top we have Yo, and I question his chip choice.
Look, as far as it goes, I think it was a good question to kind of maintain there. Because end of the day, he didn't have anything to go on to. He didn't get to Viper's Pond, so he couldn't deal with the fishing ships there. He lost all his fishing ships by, like, I would say minute 14. So it just makes life really, really hard there. Didn't get any of that bonus, kind of for the amount of wood he committed there. Then obviously had to move to either some deer, some boar farms to kind of make up for that overall. His economy wasn't set out for it. I think Vikings was a bad choice as well.
It feels so weird. Like, it's a completely counterintuitive Civ for me. Like Vikings.
Yeah.
So
it's. I don't know how much experience. Like Yo should have heaps of experience with Warlord Kingdoms in terms of what kind of got added and what kind of got pulled in. Because that's the only reason I would kind of think maybe he went into that because he wasn't thinking about the fire ships. But that's not an excuse. End of the day.
Honestly, I feel the biggest weakness of Yo in tournament is the Civ choice. Like, I remember him, like, I had one Hippo tournament, and I told him, like, oh, like, we have special maps, special settings, you have to take a look into the Civs. And he said, players win games, not Civs.
Well, I think you found a little bit. You know what? Just send him these recs and question him.
Oh.
That's really interesting, actually. But end of the day, there, the fire ships made the difference.
Yeah, kind of the sneak there. It is weird, and we are instantly jumping into game number 3. The Viper trying to prevent what happened to Livery, being ahead 2-0 and then losing 3-2.
Let's see what we've got here. So it looks like we are on Budapest yet again. We have Yo towards the eastern side of the map, playing in the blue as the Huns, of course. We are in the semi-final here, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 2-0 advantage for Viper at the moment. This is a best-of-5 series. Next victory for Viper would spell end for it. I'm here with Nilly today, one of the best casters in Age of Empires, if you ask me. The experience is on his side. He knows exactly what's going on. Let's introduce the next player.
It is on the left-hand side, the Viper playing Italians, and that's kind of an interesting choice here as well. That really indicates how heavily he wants to go on the fishing ship. I personally don't think that this Budapest version allows that strategy to be too efficient here, because we don't have that much fish.
Interesting. And plus, of course, as well, you've got the double villager production out of the TCs. So a fish boom behind that, of course, not going to be as effective. It's still going to help, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to be kind of pushing your population max as much as you can, because on your way up to feudal age, you can keep building villages. You're going to have double production early on. So not going to make that much of a difference in terms of income overall if we look at the percentages, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And, well, we will see how many they will build when it comes to docks and fishing ship. Hans just plays so smoothly on those settings. 2 TCs, you don't really want to ever get house. It's like double as hurtful. And yeah, going for some fishing boom. Huns are, well, probably with Chinese, the top 2 civilizations there.
Yeah, it's a really good point you did bring up that maybe not a lot of people are considering. Playing with 2 TCs, it's a very different playstyle overall to kind of get used to. And if a player's not used to it, it is extremely easy to get housed. Exactly like you were saying there. Huns, they remove that possibility. It's one less thing to focus on and be worried about. So it does definitely help. Of course, a highly aggressive civilization as well does make it a little bit harder to wall off. You do have to kind of commit to those palisades rather than laying out your houses overall. A little bit of a scout engagement here in the center. 2 for 1. Oh, that was dangerous there for Yo. Very, very dangerous. Viper with an extremely low HP scout there, but the 2v1 is not where you want that early in the game.
And the Viper actually had by a villager. That shouldn't happen. I believe Italian should be behind compared to the Huns. So beautiful start by him. And now sending a villager out, wants to go for the dog. And, well, a very clever question raised before in the chat. What do you think Hans really has as an option against potential Genoese crossbowmen?
Against Genoese crossbowmen? Skirmishes? That's probably my best option overall looking at it. End of the day, the Genoese, like, they're going to deal with the knights effectively. They're going to deal with the scouts. They're going to deal with the cavalry archers. That's the thing. What do you go against them? You don't really have the option there. Huns, of course, lacking Imperial Skirm, like a lot of the civs out there. So you're not going to be able to play that angle. I think just Elite Skirms is probably the best option there. What do you think?
It is tricky. Onagers could be an option, but not really in the tech tree of the Huns there. So I feel
True.
Yo needs to get into some aggression before the Viper can get up to 20 Genoese crossbowmen, because then it's getting super tricky.
I have a feeling as well, the Viper, obviously, playing as the Italians here, his bonus to go up to the next stage, 15% cheaper, not really a big bonus in terms of fuel age. Like, it definitely helps, especially with 2 TCs. Do you think he's going to try and abuse that, get up a little bit earlier, push in a lot more aggressively, and then go from there overall? What are you thinking? Because that's kind of how I'm believing he's going to go with this.
Well, in the normal Age of Empires, like 1 TC Age of Empires, those, I believe, 85 food or something you save are just massive. Because, or is it 75? 75 food, right? Yeah. And they are just massive because, like, you count every villager, everyone has a purpose, and it's just so much more crisp. But here, you already have like 40 villagers and 25 of them working on food. Those 75 food don't really make the biggest difference.
Yeah, so it's a small advantage to kind of have in this one overall. Viper actually throwing up his first dock there, by the way, as well. And looks like he's docking both ponds. His second dock, my mistake. Yo hasn't even thrown up a dock. Looks like Viper is going to be abusing this cheaper fishing ship bonus. And honestly, we might be seeing a just general game 2 repeat here.
Well, I'm really curious. We see Yo going for some walls at the top now. He ignored the water at all. Has nice defensive gold spots. Now transitions onto that. That looks like a pretty clear fast castle tech to me. Why is the Viper still not up? That's confusing me.
I'm kind of looking at his base layout here, and I wouldn't say the town center's overly defensive. He's got a good situation there to kind of defend, but at the same time, can't risk being up too much later. Kind of what I'm expecting to see here is Viper just destroy in terms of economy, and then when the time comes, commit and just steamroll.
Huh. Well, he is walling up now as well. I think it could have been a bit better walls, but, well, HCTCs are somewhat close, so I actually like those.
Yeah, he's doing a good job here. We've got, Yo moving forward with the barracks. So going to try and get some aggression in there. We've got Yo going to be up a little bit earlier, just roughly about 45 seconds, which it shouldn't be enough to make too much of a difference overall, but we'll kind of see where it does play out to, of course.
Oh, but we'll see about that. Yo now with the stable in the center will be mass knights from him. I love that. Needs to add farms pretty soon. The Viper now with the very late barracks here. Okay. But then, is he on stone yet? Not really. What is he going for? Tell me.
He's got a lot of villages on gold, so the archery transition is an option straight away, depending on what he wants to go for here. Barracks only just coming down, hitting feudal. There's the fast castle from Yo. Do you think Yo's going to commit into some kind of knight play here?
I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see like 3 stables full out aggression to the center, and the Viper could have some problems. Maybe, like, him not going onto stone surprises me quite a bit. Some, like, or maybe 2 stable manual aggression could be something as well. He's walling the left-hand side. I'm surprised by those build-ups.
The 10 fishing ships from Viper here, they're going to make a big difference. Viper going down with, there's the archery range, so it looks like he wants to commit to that. We've got Yo doing wheelbarrow, Castle Age, double bit, all at the same time. Castle Age going down for Viper now, so going to be there about a minute behind as well. Double bit, gold mining going down as well. I'm not 100% sure on what we're going to kind of be seeing here. I've still seen the single archery, he's walled up mostly, got the fishing ships into a good position, a couple more villages out in play. His eco's looking really good. Just terms of kind of where he wants to commit here, and there's the double archery from Yo.
Yeah, that's going to be CA for sure. The Viper going on to crossbowman, double archer range against double archer range. Not the army compositions we were expecting.
No, not at all. We've got bloodlines just now for Yo, so he's going to be in a good point there. Fletching for Viper. What do you think is going to kind of have the advantage here? Obviously, the upped crossbows from Viper can, of course, get the extra tech to add the armor to them later on once he does get that castle up, which will, of course, reduce the amount of damage they're taking. But this, at the moment, not sure exactly who's in the lead.
For me, it feels like this will be a pretty stalemate. Both going for ranged units. It's pretty close map, so I can see the reasoning for that. I wouldn't be surprised to see both players adding a siege workshop in a reasonable amount of time as well. Both players completely walled now, and maybe a Mangonel, and then even transition into Imp.
That'd be really interesting, actually, especially if it does move towards that Imp play on top, because obviously no Onager for Yo, whereas Viper gonna get that Onager tech. Interesting one overall in terms of what we're gonna see here. Will that make a huge difference, you think?
Onager tech, obviously. Like, the closer the whole area, the better siege units are. Like, you want to have traps, you want to have bombard cannons, you want to have Onagers, and, well, 2 out of those 3 just mentioned siege weapons, not really in the arsenal of the Huns.
Exactly. We've got 2 town centers at the moment going up for Viper, so we're going to be on a total of 3. Yo's thrown no extras down by the looks of it. I think he might be ready to commit to just an all-in, just military playstyle here.
Well, we'll see. It is tough against a player who's sitting behind walls, already has units out, is now going for mass stone to really sneak something out and make something happen. Well, Yo, if he wants to go for that frontal attack, he needs to wait, I would say, for like 3 Mangonels, but that costs so much time as well.
Alright, top north side of the map pond there. We do have a dock from the Viper. Going for some fire galleys, just in case, but obviously going to be able to transport around the side, get into the eco, do some damage. We did just see a dock come up from Yo in the bottom pond as well. Thoughts?
Well, it's a bit late. I don't really see the argument for it, but it is okay. If you have enough wood, just go for it. Most important thing now is the attacks through the center. I love the Mangonel aggression. The Viper a bit late with the siege workshop, but now is going for it. How does the stone count look? Oh, he's even going for defensive towers.
Man, this is a really good defense overall. Both players getting leather archer armor there at the same time. Shows you the level these players are on. They know what they want to commit. And those fire galleys coming in. Viper not finding any fish. Do you think that's going to boost his confidence here a little?
Well, I think he isn't too scared. He maybe, well, he will find a villager. But I think most important thing is really the center here at the moment.
This is rough. Extra archery range getting thrown up there as well. Tower, obviously to defend. Really decent position there. The crossbow is going to be able to kind of outrange these cavalry archers, which is what they're looking at doing more than anything. Just being able to push them back, make sure they don't push in too hard, can't do any damage to the eco, because that's where Viper's really starting to pull ahead. Yet again, a monastery coming up behind, so it looks like he's going to try and get the converts on those mangonels if he can. On top of this, the extra town centers are just doing wonders at the moment. 76 villages for Viper, 69 for Yo, 12 fish for the Viper that have been there just about all game, compared to the 1 of Yo that he's only just got in recently. And looks like we are seeing Yo going for some kind of a knight transition here with scale barding armor.
Oh yeah, now going for husbandry as well, but I'm lacking to see more stables. It's 2 TCs against 4 TCs, mass fish against, well, basically no fish. So Yo needs to make something happen pretty quickly.
Absolutely. The longer the game goes at this point, the more and more Viper's pulling ahead. That eco damage at the moment, he needs to get in and do it. That's it. He needs to do the eco damage, pull it back to an even kind of start here. But every second, like I said, the resources are just building up for Viper to a position where he can just completely steamroll by just sending units after unit after unit in.
Oh, tricky situation here. The Viper now building the defensive castle, and that will just put him in such an easy spot to defend. In the meanwhile, like, it would have been so easy for Yo to just push the other side. It's so open there, just only one house. He's finally going for it. The defensive tower from the Viper won't really be in time.
That castle is going to be a great defensive tool, but more importantly, that I kind of find at the moment, will give him access to the Italian elite tech. It'll add 1 armor onto those crossbows as well, so they'll in a better position just to deal with any cavalry archers that come through as well.
Indeed, and well, the Viper is now going for the defense in the south. Let's take a look. Do we see some good Mangonel shots? It's very tight area, and those 2 shots were pretty good to start the fight off. Now some splits here, and Yo in some troubles. Will he get another hit? Yeah, he will eat it. And well, Yo needed to do some damage. He did not. Mangonel needs to be avoided here. Tower, well, nice defense there. A lot of villagers going down, but the Viper is getting the kills, and beautiful stuff here. And he is just super safe now.
The micro there was great. Got the kills, minimal losses. Did lose the mangonels, but end of the day, it did buy him the time he needs. Thumb ring, ballistics, Imperial Age on the way. That castle's up now as well. Let's see what he does decide to do from here. Stone mining tech. Here comes the aggressive castle from Yo. Imperial for Viper though. Is this castle going to be the end of the aggression?
Well, what can it really do? Like, this castle should probably fall. It's so easy for the Viper just to build some defensive traps there, and Yo can't really raid that. The Viper is just camping this out. The Viper, like, did he ever cross, like, the half map mark? Not really, right? He's
I don't
just
think
defending.
he has. I think he's been going for the perfect hold here, and there's the Italian elite tech coming down as well, so gonna get all that extra defense. But I don't think Viper's needed to cross that halfway mark. That's the thing here. He's played defensively, used the units he had just as effectively as possible, banked on his economy advantage, which he's had the entire game, and at the moment he's up to Imperial earlier. He's getting all his techs, Imperial on the way. He's just doing really well in terms of managing his economy and what he's actually got behind it.
Now going for guard towers as well. The Viper doesn't really know where to position his crossbowman, but that's just simply because he cannot really get attacked anywhere. Sitting behind stone walls, sitting behind castles, control over that showers area. I believe Yo needs to transition into a lot of rams. That could maybe still do something.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Viper's got mainly ranged units out. It's castles and towers that are keeping him defended. The trebuchet on the way, of course, for Viper. So this castle in the middle here, unless Yo's got something to push in with that, a couple of knights or something, he can say goodbye to that castle in the center there. Arbalest on the way, Bracer on the way. The tech advantage here for the Viper going to be huge. And that's another castle coming down on the south of the center there as well.
Not going for January's crossbowman yet. Here, trap production just so much more important. Building that castle where he feared to be attacked was the Viper, securing some more gold for himself, and Arbalest now with their 8 range against castle edge units. Just makes it very easy for him.
Absolutely, he can just sit behind this, take the fights he wants to, the engagements he needs. With the Trebs as well, he's got the option to pick the engagements here. Some good micro against those mangonels, and he won't feel it too much, which is exactly what he's doing now. A couple of stables going down behind, looks like he could be getting ready and gearing up for some raiding.
There's a couple of stables behind. Okay, interesting there. Wants to fight off against the mass skirmishes. Obviously, Condotero tech could be an option for him as well. Did clear up the castle at the other side. Now close to 40 pop ahead.
That was a lot of units going down on that hill there. This actually might be... Wow, what's Yo doing here? He's just kind of moving around on here. The extra range from the Arbalest just meaning they get the hits in beforehand. That was rough.
Yeah, didn't even have the final defense upgrade there, but was enough indeed. Now we hear, fishing traps being added. Mangonels coming forward, getting some shots in against the skirmishers, and that small timing there, being up to Imperial Age so much faster, was enough. Fighting with Bracer against no Bracer, enough to fight the hill off.
That's GG. That's a 3-0 victory for Viper. He made it look... Oh, Guys, Yo is a strong player. A very, very strong player. Viper is going into this final looking like he is on fire.
Oh man, and those Chinese, they will surely talk, and when Yo will say, poof, that guy just steamrolled me, baby, better watch out.
This is, man, he's really showing his side here. This is the zone. Going to be really interesting to see how he performs in the finals. Because I would say probably about a couple years ago, and you might agree or disagree with it, Viper had a really good habit of getting into the finals, but whether his play would support that in the actual final itself is where he kind of struggled. I don't want to say he choked, but maybe he lacked the experience. Now I think it's a lot different, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Because obviously we know the players in the finals here. We're up to a Vivi and Viper final. Which way do you think it kind of sits?
Well, it just feels like Viper is the #1 in the world. So even though Vivi looked incredibly good there, even in the second game, I would say, so game 2 to 5 against Leary, I still have to say the Viper, his preparation will be absolutely on point as well. I have to give the advantage to him.
Interesting. It'll be good to see how this goes down. Maybe if, like we saw a lot of aggressive play from Vivi, maybe that's how you crack the Viper. Get on top of him just as quickly as you can. Who knows?
Yeah, big problem also is the Viper, Vivi used to beat the Viper quite frequent, or like quite often in those rated games, but that was before the tower nerf, so we will see about that. And guys, we are now switching over to